Hi, my name is Neil Bowie. I'm with Dorkaholics.com.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Andrew, my first question is, how would you say Fire Island compares to your past works?
It's much funnier. My previous works, Spa Night and Driveways, are much more intimate family dramas. This is my first romantic comedy. And I don't think I expected to do a rom-com, but when I read Joel Kim Booster's script, um, I saw in it um, so much of myself, as a queer Asian American man, and um, uh, my group of queer Asian American friends, it really resonated with me. This celebration of chosen family and queer joy, and it's a topic that I haven't had the chance to explore in my previous work, and is such a big part of my life that this felt like the perfect project to enter into.
Did the experience of working on documentaries like I'm Divine, Video, and Tab Hunter Confidential prepare you in any way for directing Fire Island?
I love those projects. Yeah, I was an assistant editor and post-production intern, I think, on those films. Um, those were my first gigs coming out of film school. And what I loved about working with the director, Jeffrey Schwartz, was that uh, he's a gay man and has a community of gay filmmaker friends. It really felt like an introduction to um, a professional queer filmmaking um, network that let me know that there are people who want to watch and make queer film. And I think that gave me the motivation to, seek out collaborations with other queer artists. And so, meeting Joel Kim Booster and entering into this collaboration with him, like, felt really natural and organic.
While Dole focused on a clash of Korean American and gay identities, Fire Island casts a spotlight on friendships within queer communities. How does this shift feel for you as a filmmaker?
Yeah, different um uh the queer Asian American experience is uh a very multifaceted um it's a very multifaceted um uh what's the word I'm looking for? um it's a very multifaceted and complicated thing, like you can't define queer Asian Americanness in one movie, but you can pick an element of it and explore it. And so for me, I really loved being able to kind of match the form to the content, and um, to talk about queer joy, it just made sense to talk about it in a comedy, and so I I think that my work is always trying to um, feel holistic. I'm never trying to force something um, into a form that it doesn't um, kind of naturally want to be in. Um, and so, I think that my main, philosophy as a filmmaker hasn't necessarily changed, but I am definitely more um, uh, excited to take risks in my career. I think I have more confidence in my voice, and I want to try different things. I think this is the best way to um, have fun as a filmmaker, to stay engaged in my career. I think about filmmakers like Ang Lee and Todd Haynes, who have tried many different genres. And, I really love that about their body of work. My joke is that Fire Island is my version of Ang Lee's Sense and Sensibility.
I mean, on a similar note, Fire Island has had comparisons made to the literary classic Pride and Prejudice. For those who haven't watched the film yet but are familiar with the legacy text, in what way should they expect to see these parallels?
Oh, it's pretty direct. Like there are very clear connections between the characters in our films and the character in our film and the characters in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Noah is definitely our Elizabeth Bennet. Howie is our Jane Bennet. Will is our Mr. Darcy. There's a lot of really fun parallels. I'd say the main difference is that I think many people expect, adaptations of Pride and Prejudice to really focus on the romances, but our film actually kind of shifts that emphasis towards the chosen family, towards the friendships. And that to me feels really queer and really modern in a fun way.
No, I love that. In a past interview, you mentioned the challenges of being a queer Korean American filmmaker trying to make a queer Korean American film. As your career has continued on, how have these challenges changed in the world of filmmaking?
It's a good question. I find it really hard to um, uh, I think it would have been really difficult to make this film even 5 years ago. I think it would have been labeled as too niche. I think that there might have been um, a desire for, one of the, four leads to, be a big, famous white actor. The fact that we have, four Asian Americans top billed in this film, with a queer Asian American director, I think it's really significant. That said, I think there's still so much work to be done. And, part of the reason we were able to make this film is because it's just a super brilliant idea. It's fun. It is an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. I'm kind of waiting for the moody, broody, gay Korean American drama to get greenlit with a big budget at a studio. Like that's going to be maybe even harder to achieve, but who knows. I think that it's a sign of changing times that a film like this uh, is has gotten made and is getting this kind of release, and I'm like super thrilled about it. There's still so much more work to be done, and I really hope to use this platform to pull up seats to the table, for other queer Asian American artists.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Andrew.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing the movie.
cool. Thank you.